wanted to touch on one player in particular, that's Jakub Kiwior. I think,
Mm.
when Gabriel got injured, we all thought, Kiwior would be the weak link, and understandably so, because he's been shaky in previous starts. But, for me, he didn't put a foot wrong over those two legs, and especially at the Bernabeu, because Saliba made the mistake for the Vinicius goal, had a couple of shaky moments, but Kiwior was completely unfazed, in the right place at the right time. He certainly surprised me with how well he performed. Did he surprise you as well?
Yes, absolutely. He did. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He was, like you said, the shaky nervous moments that did come in that game came from William Saliba. They didn't come from Jakub Kiwior. He was exceptional. His recovery pace at times got him out of some trouble. How calm he is on the ball. Yeah, he was brilliant. I mean, I was there when Gabriel got injured, and the collective groan that went around the Emirates, and the sort of realization at the time of, well, that's him out of Madrid. It's going to be Kivior or some sort of mismatched defence against Madrid, and you could just feel the confidence that anyone had ahead of those ties begin to drain out of them. And I was exactly the same. And yeah, I hold my hands up. Kivior has exceeded my expectations and more. He was brilliant. He deserves so much credit. And yeah, fair play to him. And we'll wait and see what happens with him, whether this ends up being his last season in an Arsenal shirt. I suspect it still might be. These performances are certainly going to do his value a lot of good in terms of Arsenal if they do get some money for him in the summer. But it also means that if he does go, he's going to go away, with people with fond memories from Arsenal fans, especially these two nights against Real Madrid. So he can be absolutely proud of his performance, and he's going to have to continue to play like this between now and the end of the season because Arsenal obviously need him. I think the two of them actually work really well. When you look at Kivior's shakiest moments, it doesn't really come when he's next to Saliba in that centre back partnership. Those two, their records were very good when they play together. Obviously it means that Kivior's playing in his natural position for one. He's not being sort of moved over to the right-sided centre-back role when he plays alongside Gabriel. When he plays with Saliba, he's in his natural position. That obviously helps him. And he just looks a lot more comfortable when he's in that side, understandably. So, yeah, hopefully long may that continue between now and the end of the season.
Certainly, and you touched on it there. Excuse me, you touched on it there with what's going to happen with his future. I mean, he's been linked with a return to Italy sort of ever since he joined, really. No sort of concrete reports yet, but like I say, it's potential that he could be going. And you can look at this maybe one or two, like you said, his stock is going to be higher than ever after those two brilliant displays. And he's going to want more regular minutes, which, when Gabriel's fit, he walks back into the team, it's fair to say, I think. And if Kivior wants these regular starts, he's unlikely to get them at Arsenal, barring any injuries. But excuse me, at the same time, if you let him go, then that could be another position you need to replace this summer. So, what do you think? Would you just sell him now while his stock is the highest, or would you think it is best to try to persuade him to stay?
Yeah, I think given what Arsenal have to do in the market this summer and the areas that they're going to prioritise, which are going to be attacking areas, I think it's basically up to Kivior for this one. If he really wants to go, which would be totally understandable if he does, because he's just like you said, Gabriel walks back into this team when he's fit, and it's going to be very hard for Kivior to get the sort of minutes that he, as an international defender, craves and needs, quite frankly, at this stage of his career. So, if he pushes for a move, then I think Arsenal will let him go if they can get good market value for him, and then they'll have to replace him basically. And then there are potential targets out there, but I think if Kivior says he wants to stay and he's happy to stay, then I think that probably solves a bit of a problem for Arsenal. It just means that they don't really have to worry about that position and doing anything in the market. They can just focus their attentions, higher up the pitch, which I think we all want, and that, frankly, they do need. So I think it basically rests on Kivior. It just depends if what bids come in, if he'd be happy to go to that club, or if he thinks, no, you know what, I'm going to stay. I'm going to continue to compete alongside Gabriel and Saliba.